Alrighty, it's finally time to revisit and fly my Red Arrows Hawk from FMS. You may have seen it on the channel before, and you also may not, because it's been a while since I flew it. It's got wireless head tracking with the DJI FPV system, and the reason why it's been so long since I've flown it is that the flying club that I'm a member of, which is the only place big enough to fly and land the thing, is actually a school. We pay to fly there and we have permission to fly over the grounds. And in the winter months, where it goes dark here around about 3:45, it's just not possible to fly. So we use their indoor sports hall. But in British summertime, in fact, it's close to summer solstice, so we can be flying out there up until 9, 9:30, no problems. And unfortunately it's very windy today, so I'm a little bit nervous because these EDF jets are not very forgiving. You need to have a perfect landing every time, and if not, something is going to break. I have made a few changes to the pan and tilt system. I should say that we have two of these, and the idea is that myself and my friend Phil are going to be flying them in close formation and get some great video footage. So some things that I have changed is the gimbal system. It does look a bit of a mess, and that's because it's a combination of two systems. So down here is the original mount for the air unit. So I'm using an air unit. Model like this isn't affected at all by the weight of an air unit. I mean, the batteries in this, they are a 5,000 milliamp hour 6S, so this is nothing. In fact, I've flown it with and without the system, and you don't really notice a difference in flight time. If you give it full beans, then you're going to get a 4-minute flight time, and you can get up to a 8-minute flight time just cruising, which is what is fantastic about it. So we have got Essential RC's bottom plate, and then up here, this is the bag, which you may have seen on the channel before. Terribly modified. And the reason that I have done this is I learned the hard way that if you want to do this pan and tilt system and have a crash and not have the camera ripped away from the air unit or the Vista, it needs to be in one unit. The other reason as well is that this air unit cable is not long enough to sit at the back, and so therefore you really want everything in one place. Now, something that I've had to do, a bit of a bodge, as you can see, thanks to Phil again for lending me, well, I'm not sure lending's the right word because I'm not sure he's going to get it back, but I've used these aluminium or aluminum strips to bring the camera forward. Now, I've always liked having the camera forward on these pan tilt systems because it means that, and I'm sorry for anyone that is disgusted by manually moving servos, but you can actually look over the edge better. However, that's not actually the reason why I've done that this time, because this thing is so high that I think you'd be able to look over the edge just nicely having the camera mounted where it's supposed to be. The problem is having this so tall means that this cable is not long enough. Now, of course, you can get a 20 centimeter cable, which I currently do not have, but I plan on switching that out. Then the camera can go in its normal position and I can see what that's like. But for now, this is it. Now, you might be wondering why so high, and there's a few reasons. The first one is that this model's sort of fake cockpit is not very deep and also not very good. Don't know if I can show it, but there's actually a couple of holes in the side. And there's a reason for that, and that is because if I lift the canopy off, if I can do it one-handed, there's absolutely no room underneath for anything. The battery sits there. So the Hawk also isn't that interesting in general inside, in my opinion, when you are at pilot height, especially in the front, well, and in the back. You know, if we go to that height here, for example, with this camera, and then look around, that's all you get to see of the wing. Whereas if we are here, and this camera has a much wider angle than the one on this camera I'm filming with, you can get much more of the plane in shot. And this is almost a 360 degree. I think it's about 270, something like that. So we should hopefully be getting a shot something like that. And I plan to have something here at some point. So that's why I like the high up visibility. You can also see the nose much better as well when coming in for a landing, which, as I say, very important that you get that correct. As for how everything is powered, again, not very scientific, but it is just an F7 flight control, I believe, and we've got some electrical tape just under there. That is just so I can get the voltage that plugs into the JST, so sort of like piggybacks off the 6S battery, so that has to take 6S, and that's just connected. It's actually a DJI flight controller, so the air unit plugs in. A good reason for using that air unit. Everything was just plugged in and it was ready to go, and it gives me the voltage. Again, very important to know the battery voltage in one of these things, because there is no such thing as gliding them. And again, found out the hard way. That there's loads of reasons actually for wanting everything in one piece. I mean, as you'll see here, just look how that flexes there. And even if I could put the air unit over here, the weak spot on this plane, as I found out, is here. So not only are you going to lose a very expensive EDF, but possibly your FPV system as well. Now, I'm not expecting to be able to do much looking around, unfortunately, because of the wind, but I'll try and shift my head over just so that we can see the view. That's enough waffle. Let's get and fly the thing.
Are these the modified servos, Andy?
Yeah, digi servos, yeah.
These aren't the ones from Motion Thingy?
Yeah,
right.
they are. It's kind of a concoction of lots of things. Oh, I need half flap for takeoff, I think. Very bouncy on the ground. Righto, let's go for takeoff.
Clear.
Back in the air. Very quickly reminded of how fast everything moves. Oh, we got some footballers down there. Oh, so those are the footballers. Why the car park's full, huh?
Watch your downwind turns like that, keep your speed on.
Yeah.
Still using the gyro?
Yeah, still using the gyro. I'm gonna have to go for a loop here, I think it's the only option.
That one over there is called Stephen. Stephen the girl.
Stephen the seagull. You write your script, Darren?
Bumpy today, huh? Don't think I've ever flown the Hawk when it's been this bumpy. Huh. Say hello to everybody.
Look at watching him flying.
Yeah.
Your heads keep going round, following it. Watching it. Watching him fly.
Have you got the overhang view you was hoping for?
Yeah, it's great. The view's great. It's just really bumpy compared to the last time, you know?
Yeah. More breeze tonight.
Still nice and smooth on the rolls. Yeah, sorry, this is probably really high up for you, Phil. Alright. Flaps down. Gear down. Oh, that is breezy.
Nose down for stability.
Oh, yeah, very, very.
Good, good. Cool, yeah, nice.
Well, where are we? There we are. Flaps up. Yeah, not quite as smooth as last time, but
At least I can follow you when you're on the ground.
good to be in the air with the Hawk again. Yeah, it's a good view. What do I do now? I forgot. Oh yeah. Bomber. You could start recording now, Phil.
It don't work like that.